Sam Darley here with the Sam Darley Show, and today I'm going to lead off by breaking down the Western Conference playoff bracket. Well, really, just giving my predictions and who I think the X Factors will be. And I'm going to start with the 1-8 matchup between the Pelicans and the Warriors. A lot of people don't think the Pelicans can win this series. I'm not picking them to win this series, but excuse me. But Golden State's not going to get a cakewalk. People who say that the Pelicans cannot match up with the Warriors, absolutely false. The Pelicans have Tyreke Evans, who can guard Klay Thompson. Oh, you got Gordon, who can guard and shoot. He can play defense and play offense. He's a two-way player. He's healthy, and he can play Steph Curry. You got Anthony Davis, who can dominate the paint. You got Omer Asik, who's a good rim protector. I mean, you got guys that... You got guys that can legitimately play for these Pelicans. The one thing that separates these two teams is their bench. I think the Warriors are a deeper team. They're more explosive off their bench than New Orleans. So, with that being said, I'm going to pick the Warriors in 7. I think the Pelicans have enough to fight tooth and nail with the Warriors. I think it's going to be a grit and grind knockout type series. But the Warriors will get the excuse me. We'll get the series win and advance to the next round. Then you got the 2-7 matchup between the Texas rivals of the Dallas Mavericks and my Houston Rockets. And I know I'm gonna be a little biased. I'm trying not to be a little biased here, but I do think the Rockets will win the series. I think they're simply just a better team. But I think the X factor in this series is James Harden. If Harden is like the Harden of the last couple of playoff series, the Rockets will get bounced. I mean, he is the guy. He has to be MVP type Harden in this series. And if he is, the Rockets will move on. I think it'll be a six game series. It could go to a game 7, just because it's a Texas rivalry. But I like Houston. For the 3-6 matchup, you got the Spurs and the Clippers. That's a really good... Well, it's actually the way around. Clippers 3, Spurs in 6. This series epitomizes how good the Western Conference is. I mean, you got the defending champions who are now the 6th seed. But I think they're more disciplined. I think they're way more disciplined than the Clippers. I don't think this series... Everybody's thinking this is going to be a classic series. Excuse me. Chris Paul has historically, like James Harden, he's had struggles in the playoffs before, and I don't see that changing. And like I said, I don't think the Clippers are disciplined enough or smart enough, or deep enough to hang with San Antonio. So I'm going to go. Everybody thinks this will be a 6 or 7 game series. I think it's going to go 5, and I got San Antonio winning it. The 4-5 matchup. This is brutal. I mean, these two teams, the Grizzlies and the Portland Trailblazers, they are both very, very banged up. Whoever wins has to play the Warriors. And they're going to need everything. They're going to need all the firepower that they can get, so they can try and beat this Golden State team. Who's going to win the series? I think Memphis is going to put Portland out of their misery quick and easy. It'll be not easy, but it'll be a 4-game sweep. I just think Portland is just too banged up, and I don't think they have the energy or the strength to hang with Memphis in the series. If Portland was completely healthy, I'd probably pick them to win the series. Even if both teams are healthy, I'd still pick Portland. I'd probably pick Portland, but they're not. So I have to go with a more physical team. And that's Memphis, and they are actually Memphis is the closest team in this series to being completely healthy. They could get Mike Conley and Tony Allen back. That's going to be big. The Western Conference is a wild conference. The second round, I got the Warriors winning in 7 games over Memphis. Houston and San Antonio, that'll be another classic series. Excuse me. The Texas Showdown. But I think the Rockets have. I think the Rockets could win that series. I think it could go either way. I'm a Rockets fan, and I'm going to pick the Rockets just because I'm a Rockets fan. But you know, it's a difficult. That's a difficult series to predict. I will say this: whoever wins that Rockets Spurs series, not only will win the West, but will win the NBA championship. I think they're the two best teams in the West: San Antonio and Houston. Golden State's really good, but I just don't think. I think when you start game planning for them, and if you're like a San Antonio or a Houston, and you really can sit down and start game planning for them, yeah, you can beat them. And like I said, the only thing that separates New Orleans and Golden State is a bench. Golden State, if New Orleans had a bench, I would probably go with New Orleans in the first round. But no. The conference finals will be the two MVP candidates, James Harden and Steph Curry, and the Rockets will prevail in 6 games. They'll advance to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1995. It's not gonna be easy. This is gonna be a crazy conference. There's gonna be no upsets in this conference because all 8 teams are capable of winning their respective series. Yes, even Portland could win against Memphis. I just don't think they will. It's gonna be a tough conference. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch the Western Conference playoffs, and I'm looking forward to it. I would love to hear y'all's predictions. My NBA Finals prediction is either Cavs and Bulls. It's either Cavs or the Bulls versus either the Rockets or the Spurs. I'm not going to talk about the East because it sucks. Their playoffs is literally boring to watch until at least the until the conference finals. Excuse me. And that's when you got the 2 best teams that are still inferior to all of the Western Conference teams. So it's either Chicago or Cleveland in the East. Atlanta could win the East, but I doubt it. I don't know. I don't think they have the depth to beat Cleveland. If Derrick Rose is healthy, I think Chicago or Tom Thibodeau. This could be his last hurrah. This could be like I said, his last hurrah with Chicago. This could be it for him. So, the Bulls are gonna come out ready to play. But yeah, my finals prediction is the winner of the Rockets Spurs series going to the NBA Finals, and one of those 2 teams, whoever it is, whether it's Rockets or Spurs, will win the NBA championship. Because, like I've said, like I believed and felt all season long, the East cannot beat the West. As you saw in the NBA Finals last year, the Spurs absolutely pounced and trounced all over the Miami Heat. Why? Because the East sucks. It's literally another regular season. The Western Conference is a jungle. It's going to be tough, and it's actually playoff basketball on the Western Conference side of the NBA playoff bracket. But let me know who you think is going to go to the finals. I think it's going to be Rockets or Spurs versus Bulls or Cavs. I'll actually go ahead and make my 2 teams. I think it'll be Rockets and the Bulls. I think LeBron's going to choke again, like he did in the finals. Sorry, Cleveland fans. No finals for you. Just messing. But seriously though, if Derrick Rose really is healthy and it's Derrick Rose, Chicago should be, and Chicago can match up with Cleveland. But yeah, I definitely think I want to see the Rockets win a championship, so I'm going to pick the Rockets. But if the Rockets don't get past San Antonio, then San Antonio will win it again. The West is just too tough. There's nobody in the East that can beat a Western Conference team, and I would be majorly surprised in the next 3 or 5 years if an Eastern Conference team won the NBA championship, because the West is only going to get tougher and the East is only going to get easier. This has been the Sam Darley Show. Thanks for watching.